Long ago, in a quiet coastal village where the sea met the sky, life moved with the rhythm of the waves. Wooden boats rested along the shore, and every morning the fishermen sailed out together, trusting the ocean to provide for their families. Among them lived a fisherman named Arin. Arin was strong and skilled. He knew how to read the currents and cast his nets far into deep waters. The villagers admired his courage, for he often sailed farther than most dared to go. But though his hands were steady, his heart was not. Inside Arin lived a deep fear of storms. The sea was beautiful, shining like silver beneath the sun, yet Arin knew how quickly it could change. A gentle breeze could become a roaring wind. A calm horizon could darken with clouds in a single hour. Whenever clouds gathered in the distance, Arin's thoughts began to race. He imagined broken boats, lost nets, and waves swallowing everything he had worked so hard to build. Because of this fear, Arin tried to control everything. He checked the ropes on his boat again and again. He tied each knot tightly, then untied it to check once more. Even at night, he slept lightly, listening for the sound of wind against his window. The sea had not yet stormed, but the storm inside him never seemed to rest. One evening, dark clouds gathered more heavily than usual. The air felt thick and heavy. The villagers hurried to pull their boats farther inland and secure their homes. Arin worked faster than anyone, his hands moving quickly, his breath shallow. Yet even after his boat was safe, he could not calm his mind. Instead of going home, he walked along the rocky shore. The wind was rising now, and the waves crashed harder against the rocks. In the distance, Arin noticed something strange, a small lantern glowing near a rocky outcrop. Curious and uneasy, he walked toward it. There, seated calmly on the rocks, was a monk. His saffron robes moved gently in the wind, and beside him rested the lantern, its small flame glowing warmly against the dark sky. "Why are you sitting here?" Arin asked, raising his voice above the wind. "A storm is coming." The monk looked up and smiled. "Yes," he said softly, "the storm is coming." Arin frowned. "Then why don't you hide?" The monk gently placed his hand near the lantern. "Tell me," he asked, "does the lantern hide from the wind?" Arin shook his head. "If the wind grows strong enough, it will go out." "Perhaps," replied the monk, "but if it is protected carefully, it continues to shine." As thunder rolled across the sky and rain began to fall, Arin sat beside the monk. His heart pounded as the waves struck the rocks. The monk spoke again. "Is the storm inside you or outside you?" Arin looked at the raging sea. "Outside," he answered quickly. But then he noticed his trembling hands and tight chest. "It is both," he said quietly. The monk nodded. "The storm outside cannot always be controlled, but the storm inside can be understood." Lightning flashed. The lantern flickered, but it did not go out. The monk gently shielded the flame with his hands. "Look at the lantern," said the monk. "It does not fight the wind. It does not shout at the rain. It simply protects its flame." Arin watched carefully. "How do I protect my flame?" Helen asked. The monk placed his hand over his heart. "By learning to sit with the storm instead of running from it." The wind howled around them. The rain fell harder. Yet for the first time, Arin did not rush or shout. He did not imagine disaster. He simply sat and breathed. He watched the lantern's steady glow. He felt his breath move in and out. He listened to the storm without trying to silence it. Slowly, something changed. The sea still roared, but his chest felt lighter. The wind still pushed against him, but his thoughts no longer spun wildly. After a long while, the thunder faded into the distance. The rain softened. The storm began to pass. The monk stood and lifted the lantern. Its flame was still burning. "Storms will come again," said the monk gently. "That is the nature of the sea. But fear does not have to rule you. The flame within you is stronger than you think." Arin walked home beneath clearing skies. The village was quiet. The boats were safe. In the days that followed, Arin still prepared his boat carefully. He still respected the power of the ocean. But when clouds gathered, he no longer allowed fear to take over his mind. Instead, he remembered the lantern. When storms rose, he paused, he breathed, he focused on the steady flame within his heart. Years passed. Arin grew older, and younger fishermen began to sail the waters. When they felt frightened by strong winds, Arin would gather them at the dock. He would light a small lantern and place it at the center. "Watch the flame," he would say. "The sea may roar, the wind may rise, but your heart can remain steady." And so the village learned that courage was not the absence of storms. It was the ability to protect the light within. For storms will always come. Waves will always rise. But the flame guarded with awareness can shine through any wind.